There's a cage we're all born into, not one of iron bars, but invisible walls. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it every time you hesitate, every time you hold back the words you wanted to say, every time you shrink yourself to fit someone else's version of possible. And here's the catch. Most people never realize they're trapped. They call it being realistic. They call it playing it safe. They give it nice, polite names like responsible, humble, or normal. But what it really is fear dressed in logic. A belief you adopted so long ago you forgot you had a choice. A quiet voice that whispers, don't bother. You're not smart enough, not strong enough, not one of them. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it. Who told you that you couldn't? And why the hell did you believe them? Maybe it was a teacher, a parent, a failure, or maybe it was you. You tried once, you got burned. And somewhere between disappointment and regret, you decided, this is just who I am. But what if that decision was the cage? What if you've been carrying the key the whole time? Because here's the truth nobody ever told you. Limiting beliefs don't show up wearing warning signs. They show up in habits, in patterns, in moments where you flinch from your own potential. And once they're in your head, they sound just like you. I'm not a leader. That's just not how I'm built. People like me don't do things like that. No one else has to hold you back when you're doing it for them. But I'm not here to blame you. I'm here to wake you up. Because that cage, it's not locked. It never was. We get so used to carrying certain weights, we stop noticing they're heavy. You know what I'm talking about, the hesitation before you speak, the excuse you reach for before the effort, the way you downplay your own dreams before anyone else has the chance to laugh. That's the weight I'm talking about, and it doesn't scream, it whispers constantly, play small. Don't get your hopes up, it's safer here, but here's the problem. Safety isn't the same thing as freedom. And comfort isn't the same thing as growth. Let me tell you something real. There was a man in India, Dashrath Manji. He lived in a village separated from the nearest town by a mountain. His wife fell sick. He tried to get her to a hospital, but she died before he could, because the mountain stood in the way. So he picked up a hammer and a chisel, and for 22 years, he carved a path through that mountain. Alone, mocked, ignored, he didn't care. They called him crazy, they said it was impossible, until the day he proved it wasn't. Dashrath made the impossible shorter by 63 kilometers. One man, one belief, one breakthrough. Now tell me again what's stopping you. Let me guess, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. I'm not built like those people. That's the weight talking, that's the lie you've carried so long it feels like a part of you, but it's not. You weren't born with that belief, you adopted it, and anything adopted can be let go. If you don't face it, you'll feed it, and what you feed controls you. So I want you to say this out loud, yes, right now. I don't live in a cage, I don't carry this weight anymore. Because when belief becomes your burden, it's time to trade it in for conviction. You're not stuck, you're just still standing in place. And the mountain in your way, it's waiting to be moved. Every breakthrough begins with a moment, not always loud, not always dramatic, but unmistakable. It's that moment when the excuses no longer sound smart, when your fear starts to feel smaller than your frustration, when you stop asking, what if I fail, and start asking, what if I don't? Let me tell you about Cliff Young. He was a potato farmer, 61 years old, no coach, no sponsors. He showed up to one of the most grueling ultramarathons on earth, 544 miles from Sydney to Melbourne. Everyone laughed. He wore work boots, had no formal training. No one thought he'd even make it through the first day. But Cliff didn't know the rules. He didn't know that you were supposed to run for 18 hours and sleep for 6, so he just kept running. While others slept, he moved. While others rested, he shuffled forward. And when it was over, he didn't just finish, he won by 10 hours. He shattered not just a record, he shattered an entire belief system. Everyone assumed it was impossible. Cliff never asked, he just did it. And that, right there, is where the shift happened. When you stop believing what's reasonable, when you stop checking if your dream is approved by the crowd, when you stop waiting for permission to be extraordinary. So let me ask you right now, What rules are you following that were written by someone who gave up? What limits are you living under that only exist because nobody ever questioned them? Every limitation has a crack, every ceiling has a weak point, and every lie about who you are can be rewritten with truth. But it starts with one decision: refuse to be reasonable. Not reckless, not naive, but unreasonable enough to say, I know what they said, I'm doing it anyway, that's the moment, that's the break. Not when the crowd believes in you, but when you finally believe in yourself. Before your mind believes, your body has to feel it. You want to change your life, change your state. Your beliefs are wired into your nervous system. They're not just thoughts floating around. They live in your posture, your breath, your habits, in how you show up when no one's watching. Stand small, breathe shallow, speak quietly, and your brain hears one thing: we're not safe. But lift your chin, roll your shoulders back, breathe deep, and you send a different signal: we're ready. Science backs this up. Harvard research found that holding a powerful posture for 2 minutes, arms wide, chest open, spine straight, can raise your confidence hormones and lower stress. Your mind follows your motion. Motion creates emotion. You want courage? Don't wait to feel it. Act it. You want clarity? Don't wait for inspiration. Move first. Inspiration follows motion. It's not magic, it's physiology. W. Mitchell was a man who lost most of his fingers in a fire, then broke his back in a plane crash. And still, he built a multi-million-dollar business, became a mayor, spoke to thousands. You think he waited to feel ready? You think he waited to heal his fear before he acted? No. He learned something the hard way. Your circumstances can paralyze your body, but only you can paralyze your will. When your mind is spiraling, change what your body is doing. Stand like someone who wins. Walk like someone with purpose. Speak like someone who's done hiding. It might feel fake at first, but so did your limiting beliefs, and you believed those for years. If a lie repeated often enough becomes belief, then so does truth, so repeat it. I was not built to shrink, I was built to rise. Say it again, louder this time. I was not built to shrink, I was built to rise. Because right now, you're not just thinking differently, you're training differently. You're giving your nervous system a new command. I'm not my past, I am my power. That's how it starts, not with a miracle, but with momentum. There comes a point when you're no longer just chasing a goal, you're defending a future. Because what's at stake isn't just one dream, it's who you'll become if you don't chase it. You've already met the voice in your head that says you're not enough. Now meet the part of you that's ready to fight back. That part has been buried under years of doubt, covered in the dust of failure, silenced by the loud opinions of small minds, but it's still in there, waiting. And when you wake it up, you don't go back. Let me tell you about Karoli Takac. He was the best pistol shooter in Hungary. Olympic gold was in his grasp. Then a grenade exploded in his right hand, the hand he used to shoot. Everyone said his career was over, but he didn't argue, he didn't debate, he just vanished. And for months, in secret, he trained himself to shoot with his left hand. 10 years later, he won Olympic gold, then did it again. He didn't let a career-ending injury define him. He used it to reinvent himself. That's what this fight is about. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about refusing to be owned by it. Your fears have been loud, your hesitation persuasive, but here's what you need to know. Every time you act in spite of fear, you're not just building courage, you're building evidence. Evidence that you can be trusted with your own potential. Evidence that your past is not your future. Evidence that the fire in you burns hotter than the voices around you. That's how belief is built, not in a moment of inspiration, but in 1,000 quiet decisions to keep going. So what are you building right now? More doubt or more proof? This isn't a game anymore, this is your becoming. So take the doubt, take the fear, take the pain, and use it. Say this now, and say it like you mean it. I will not be reduced by my fear. I will rise because of it. Again, I will not be reduced by my fear. I will rise because of it. This isn't about motivation, it's about identity. And today, you pick the version of you who folds, or the one who fights. This is it. The moment where you stop preparing and start becoming. The door has always been there, but now, for the first time, you're reaching for the handle. And I need you to hear me when I say this. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You're not behind. You've just been running someone else's software, a belief system written by fear. But fear doesn't get to be your author anymore. You do. You want to change your life, then stop negotiating with hesitation. Burn the backup plan. Step forward like the ground was made for you, Ed. Because it was. Let me show you one last story. Arunima Sinha. She was thrown from a moving train, left broken, crushed, lost her leg. And while the world told her to recover, she made a decision. She said, "I'll climb Mount Everest." 2 years later, prosthetic leg and all, she did. Then she climbed every major peak on Earth because she refused to let her tragedy become her identity. She didn't just climb a mountain, she became one. And so can you. You are not your pain, you are not your past, you are the one holding the hammer. And right now, that wall in front of you, the one built with every no, every failure, every quiet surrender, is ready to fall. But it won't fall from hope, it won't fall from thinking, it will fall from decision. So decide. Who are you when the excuses run out? Who are you when fear has nothing left to say? Say this with me, loud and final. I break the wall, I break the limits, I break through, again. I break the wall, I break the limits, I break through. One more time, feel it this time. I break the wall, I break the limits, I break through. Because that's what today is, not a day of more information, not a day of watching others rise. This is your day. The day you stop playing along with your limitations and start writing a story they'll never forget. Now go, take the step and don't look back.